OpenAI GPT seems to be everything that is the news nowadays. But do you think it can destroy Google? Stick out till the end to find out. ChatGPT is a powerful new AI chatbot that is quick to impress, yet plenty of people have pointed out that it has some serious pitfalls. About a few weeks ago, an artificial intelligence research laboratory, OpenAI, unveiled its experimental chatbot, ChatGPT. Though far away from perfection, a look at its capabilities has been sufficient to send a red alert to Google about how AI can upend its business. ChatGPT is a chatbot that can respond to user queries with summarized information in short and simple sentences. The bot can also respond to queries such as vacation plans, gifting ideas, as well as business strategies in a short and concise way. In comparison, Google, the best search engine on the planet's servers, uses a bunch of internet links that they need to surf through to get the information they seek. The major reason Google does this is that it presents it with an opportunity to also display ad links, which results in revenue for the company. According to an insider report, Google's ad business generated revenue of $208 billion in 2021 alone and accounted for 81% of Google's earnings. Sundar Pichai, the CEO at Alphabet, Google's parent company, has now directed multiple groups to focus on addressing this threat, Business Insider reported. Ask it anything you like, and you will receive an answer that sounds like it was written by a human, having learned its knowledge and writing skills from masses of information across the internet. Just like the internet, however, truth and facts are not always a given, and ChatGPT is guilty of getting it wrong. With ChatGPT set to change our future, here are some of the biggest concerns. ChatGPT is a large language learning model that was designed to imitate human conversation. It can remember things you have said to it in the past and is capable of correcting itself when wrong. It writes in a human-like way and has a wealth of knowledge because it was trained on all sorts of text from the internet, such as Wikipedia, blog posts, books, and academic articles. It's easy to learn how to use ChatGPT, but what's more challenging is finding out what its biggest problems are. Here are some that are worth knowing about. It fails at basic math, can't seem to answer simple logic questions, and will even go as far as to argue completely incorrect facts. As social media users can attest, ChatGPT can get it wrong on more than one occasion. OpenAI knows about this limitation, writing that ChatGPT sometimes writes plausible-sounding but incorrect or nonsensical answers. This hallucination of fact and fiction, as some scientists call it, is especially dangerous when it comes to something like medical advice. Unlike other AI assistants like Siri or Alexa, ChatGPT doesn't use the internet to locate answers. Instead, it constructs a sentence word by word, selecting the most likely token that should come next, based on its training. In other words, ChatGPT arrives at an answer by making a series of guesses, which is part of the reason it can argue wrong answers as if they were completely true. While it's great at explaining complex concepts, making it a powerful tool for learning, it's important not to believe everything it says. ChatGPT isn't always correct, at least not yet. A ready-to-consume format of information delivered by a chatbot is a severe threat to Google's business. In the past few weeks, users have asked ChatGPT to write up college essays for them, providing advice on coding, and even serve as a therapist to talk to. Such has been the popularity of the chatbot that more than 1 million people took to testing it in the first 5 days since its launch. The news only gets worse for Google, since ChatGPT is just one of the many chatbots that will challenge how people access information on the internet, drawing the curtains on Google's monopoly as the gateway to information. In a series of meetings around Google's AI strategy, Pichai directed multiple groups, primarily teams working in the research and trust and safety divisions, to focus their efforts on the development and launch of new AI prototypes and products. This also includes competing products for OpenAI's DALL-E, an AI that can generate art based on instructions, also used by millions of people around the world. The OpenAI project consists of 2 arms: the OpenAI LP, a for-profit company, and a non-profit parent company, OpenAI Incorporated. Founded in 2015, the organization wants to promote the use of AI such that it benefits humanity as a whole. Elon Musk was one of the founding members of the project, but resigned from the board in 2018. Interestingly, Google is a partner in the OpenAI project and has contributed to the development of the ChatGPT, a New York Times report said. At the core of the chatbot is Google's language model for dialogue applications, LaMDA, a chatbot that made news earlier this year since an engineer working on the project called it sentient. Google hasn't launched its chatbot publicly, since the technology is known to be riddled with errors, and also comes with its biases that it learns from the content it consumes to give the answers. Both Microsoft and Meta have in the past launched chatbots to withdraw them from the public domain later on, and ChatGPT was no exception. Google clearly does not want to repeat this mistake made by its peers, and the increased focus might be to demonstrate its improved version of the chatbot at the Google event scheduled for May next year. Earlier, we mentioned how incorrect information by ChatGPT can cause real-world harm, with the most obvious example being wrong medical advice. There are other concerns too, though. Fake social media accounts pose a huge problem on the internet, and with the introduction of AI chatbots, internet scams would become easier to carry out. The spread of fake information is a paradigm which represents a significant step forward in natural language processing and AI, and is a powerful tool for many applications. Previous models were trained on smaller datasets and used a different architecture that didn't allow them to perform as many tasks as GPT-3, or generate human-like text with the same level of accuracy. GPT-3 has been made possible because of something called a transformer, a neural network that learns the context and meaning of words by tracking relationships in sequential data. In addition, unlike the recurrent neural networks that precede them, transformers have architecture that allows them to process text in a parallel manner, which makes them faster and more efficient. They also employ a self-attention mechanism. This directly models relationships between all words in a sentence, regardless of their respective position. After reading all this, do you really think that Google lacks the tools to compete when it's the one that invented them in the first place? Enter Google LaMDA, Google's language model for dialogue applications. Like ChatGPT, LaMDA is also able to generate text that is contextually relevant and appropriate. Needless to say, LaMDA 2 is based on the transformer architecture that Google researchers came up with, and has been trained on a large dataset of text from the internet. It can generate text in a wide variety of styles, including poetry, song lyrics, news articles, and more. Unlike most other models, LaMDA was trained specifically on dialogue and, during its training, also learned the nuances of open-ended conversation, and can also be fine-tuned to improve the sensibleness and specificity of its responses. However, Google is also looking to add qualities such as interestingness and factuality to it, and is working hard to ensure that LaMDA adheres to Google's AI principles to minimize the probability that the model is misused, perpetuates biases, or provides misleading information. Given that Google published a paper on transformer-based models in 2017 and has been working hard on them since, while ChatGPT was only rolled out last year, I believe that it's highly likely that Google LaMDA is technologically ahead of ChatGPT. That said, however, this is still a case where Google kind of messed up. Google's experimentation with language models, specifically LaMDA, faced backlash from its own employees. One engineer called it racist, while another called it sentient. In addition to these issues, Google lacked clear vision and didn't sufficiently emphasize commercializing the technology. This allowed OpenAI to gain significant market traction, a threat that's even more pronounced for Google, given Microsoft's active efforts to commercialize the technology and integrate it into its entire ecosystem. But Google isn't sitting back. It's rapidly shifted its focus from basic research to rapid application development, and is likely to integrate LaMDA into its various products, such as Search, Docs, and Assistant, within the foreseeable future, while other tech giants like Apple and Amazon are expected to release their own GPT-enabled tools. Regardless of who emerges as the market leader, 2023 will be a major year for generative AI in various industries.